This is just a really quick video to jump straight in and show my supports and the settings that I use. So I'll first run through. The majority of my strong supports are heavies, and on the top I use spheres. This is my pussycat Roger, and so on the top I use spheres that are 2mm diameter, and they're embedded into the model by 1.2. This gives a artificial break-off point so that the upper diameter of 1.4, which is quite heavy, can still snap off without ripping a crater into your part. That's the theory anyway. Now, the lower diameter, connection length 5mm. These settings down here, they determine the density, and that touch tip distance of 15mm helps those crosses to form a scaffold structure so that the whole thing holds together. Now I'll just go through, actually, so the heavy, I needed to show what the middle sizes were, the diameters. So there's my small pillars, and here's my upper and lower diameter in them. Get off my keyboard, cat. Upper and lower diameter and touch tip distance. Okay, so now my middle settings. So I've got 0.6 is the diameter, and it's 0.3 into the model, and then the lower depth, that's on the small pillars. Sorry, I need the top. Okay, contact spheres. Now when I do my supports, if I show you the bottom, I don't use any skates. That has to be turned off, that has to say none, and I use none there as well. So I'll just confirm my heavy ones. The bottom has none, the raft has none. My light ones, bottom has none, raft has none. Good. Okay. Now the reason I don't use skates or a raft underneath is because I add my own raft later. Now heavy, I've gone through the top and the middle. We're down in the middle. We are contact diameter 1mm. Sorry, 0.6 is the tip. These are the sizes. This is the approximate density. Now light I'll just go into much finer, and that's because I only add them where absolutely necessary to get fine details. So I'll show the middle on that as well. So it's much finer, 1mm diameter, upper diameter smaller. Okay, so my strategy for doing this is I've already hollowed and vented. So if you have a look, already got vents in the right places and hollowed. So my strategy for doing this first section is to set it to middle and say all, plus all. That will fill the internal part of the model with supports. And if I've got my settings right, they'll have a sort of a scaffoldy structure. The structure didn't really work on the outside, but I'm aiming for what I get on the inside, and for that I'm pretty happy looking through there. So what I do is I do a quick job of doing that. Over here I click brush, run across the whole thing, and I've got minus set down here so I can remove supports. So what I've got is brush, hold the mouse down, stripe across, and then delete. And I'll just do that again. Yeah, it takes a few goes to get it done. Right, not too fussed about these ones that are up in between the hands, and the ones under the feet, they're about to get stronger ones anyway, but I'll take them off. What the hell. Okay, I did say fast video, didn't I? Not happening. So now I've got my internal supports. I go into heavies, and here I've got sort of an approximate density and distance so that the thing builds a full structure with quite heavy tip size. Let's give it a go, see what it does. Now this time I don't want to say plus all because I don't want them on inside. I want just plus platform, and it gives me this option to delete the supports of this model. No, I don't want to. I want to keep those internal ones. So here we go. We'll do a quick rough. That is super dense. Okay, I should be able to, I'll just, if I remove that, I've got to remove the whole thing. So I'll just brush these off. Delete. Brush. Delete. Brush. Delete. So that density is a bit over the top. I'll change this touch tip distance out further to 20. And when I go into this advanced section here, so I click the advanced and come over into here, I want to open up the maximum pillar length, minimum spacing structure for the X and Y, 30 millimeters. So I can go out to 30 millimeters with that touch tip and they'll still join up. So let's try 25. We'll try 25 and just see what it does. Should have tested this before doing the video. So we are plus platform. Do I want to delete? No. That's a bit more open. Right. And so when I zoom around, I should be able to see that the pillars are not standing like ladders. They're standing as a structure that's linked. So if I just zoom down to see from pretty much the top. Hello pussycat, you're back again. So the idea is that they form these little self-sustaining structures, and these gaps that run through here allow for sort of shrinkage and some flexibility in that structure so that it doesn't just act as one and pull the whole thing off the build plate. So we've got a structure that we like, and now my next step would be to go over here and go plus, select medium supports. Now anywhere that I want to put a few extra supports to help it, I don't, right there, oh yeah, they're from previous. So anywhere that I don't really want that ball to be embedded in there, I want to put a medium there. I've already got some in there. I want to put a medium anywhere that I'm going to do like a fine detail add. I'm going to do a fine detail add under the armpits of both sides. Actually I want a proper standing one in there. I'll shift that later. So what I'm doing is just finding, if I zoom from underneath, I want to add to the very first layers to print, because that makes a cradle shape that supports those first layers. See, if I just try to build half of his foot off only those 3 supports, they've got to build this big before they get they get some more support. So I've got to add some for stability. And up in here, just make sure that it grows in a logical way, and when it juts out things like this, just add one there, juts out, so that's not too bad. Don't really want them all in a line, they don't form a strong structure. You can see I've already got a vent hole in here, so here I like to put, as 2 sections join, just a few in that area so that they become almost welding the joins together, so they become a stability, so it builds together in the right place already. So here we are up on the other arm. Just add, as it needs a bit more stability, it runs out this way and around there. I'm just following those black lines that what shape they kind of make. There we go. Alright, so this is my medium. Now I don't really look, I'll just do an example of what might need the fines, the fine support. So right in down here on that little frill around the pants, I'll go into my light support and I'm just manually adding, you back again puss. So here I am manually adding little tips to where those frills come out. I can see one right in there. Now, looks hard to see inside there, but if you scroll up and down with this bar, you can get the area that you're doing at the time. So here we go. That looks okay. There's no fine detail in there. So it's not until we get down to pussycat. It's not until we get down to here that we start seeing. There's one in there, got it already. One in there, got it. Okay. Sometimes looking from the underneath will clear it a lot quicker, so like that. 1, 2. But what it doesn't really do then is show you the type of structure it's throwing together. But swing it a little bit, you'll see it. Got that one already. Okay, so there's that, and I've done this model a few times, so I know where to zip around and put things. So here I want to put some mediums, just flick it over to medium. I don't want to print a Hulk. I use this as an example because a lot of people seem to do statues and things. Now over here, I'll just press escape to get out of that. Now here's where I want to modify. So down here I'll modify and I'll double click one of the stems, which allows me to propagate it, to add extras, and then press escape to get back out. So if I wish to add stability to this area here, so I'll just do that again, double click, put it there, escape out. Now I can click the ball to drop it down. So these added bits always have to be, printing out at the right angles. The closer to horizontal you go with these, the harder it is to do. Now I'll just escape out of there. Now here's something, now that's how I would generally do it on the free version, but on the paid version I can go over to plus, and here this magnetic small pillar, if I click that, what I do, doesn't matter where I click, it'll throw in to the nearest supporting spot that I want it, and you preset those magnetic supporting pillars inside the advanced section. I don't remember exactly, so I haven't quite got my eye on it at the moment, but basically if I want to add support here and here and here, it's going to bounce to the closest spot. What these do is just make sure that that finger is cradled nicely as it builds. And over here, that's not too bad because of the angle it builds. I think that's about it. Right, rough and ready, I would still need to go right through the whole thing, and generally my next step would be to go through the internal surfaces to look for the red section internally. So that's the top of the foot. I'd be adding more in there. I've got medium, I've got plus, yep, bang, 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 bang. Wherever, actually, I want to just put standard ones in there, not the, put standard. Where it can, it'll throw a big one in. So I've done this on the other video already with more detail, but basically running up the model, filling in the internal cavity. I think that's about it. So just to show rough what I do. Alright, I'll sign back out.